Good morning, students. Standard 10 History, Mass Media and History. First, today in electronic media, due to the revolutionary changes, we are well acquainted with the word mass media or even electronic media. But when we try to study the importance of mass media, mass itself means public at the large. And when people reaching to the people or reaching to more and more people, that means mass, the media itself gives you information related to whatever the activities that are going on every day in our everyday life. With the globalization, today we come to know that the whole of the world is becoming a small village because of the open market policy of the world. Each and every country is having its relationship with near about all the countries of the world. Also the political scenario at the global levels, the defense strategies, and of course the manpower moving from one country to another country in search of jobs, services, or their daily bread and butter. Because of this, people are moving from one places to another which were otherwise totally unknown. And because of this, we today come to know easily about the word mass media. But when it turns to the term mass media and history, history tells us that in the beginning the world was not the same as it is today. Definitely, there were many places in the world which were totally unknown to us. And because of that, slowly how the world changed is the history of mass media also. Mass media is also important because it gives you in-depth information, on the spot information about all the activities that are going on. And because of this, people in any corner of the world easily comes in contact with whatever is happening in the world. But this is the case in today. If we try to understand what exactly mass media is, then we come to know that in the beginning, right in the beginning, when there was no electronic media, and even before that, when the printing was not invented, yet to be invented, or even before that, that is in the BCE, we come to know that the media of transaction was available and it was associated with the royal courts, means it was restricted to certain royal courts. As far as India is concerned, or we study the history of India, ancient India, we come to know that we call them jasus, spy. These were the people who gathered information from other courts and provide it to the courts where they belong to, or to the kingdom, to the king's royal court where they were in service. Because of that, whatever the activity that was going on in the other side, the court used to, but it was at the higher level. Slowly, when we come to the medieval period of India, we come to know that in India also, during the Sultanates, or as Delhi was dictated by the Mughal courts, we come to know that particularly during the Tughlaq's rule, information gathering from all the places and providing information to the officers all over India wherever the rule was, to whatever the extent the rule was one of the biggest asset of the emperors. As we come to know that information from Delhi started moving towards all the corners of the empire and also gathering news from that areas and bringing it back to the king provided a strong administration. Similarly, as we move towards 16th century, Shivaji Maharaj or other kings also, not only him but related to the same area now, we find that there were many people who gathered information, giving risk to their life, entering into the enemy's camp, and after getting the information, providing it at the utmost to the kings. But again, keep it in mind, it was all restricted to the very few. Slowly, this started to change. And as we go to the history of mass media, we come to know that the precursors of the newspapers, are, as we call it today, newspapers, electronic media, whatever the development as they are going on, we come to know that the precursors about the newspapers, the first was from Egypt. Means there are many, but one example from Egypt, and that was before CE. That is, when we study the timeline, if we study it like this, 2020, the timeline that is in this way was where we study Egypt. And because of this, now this is the beginning, and CE before Common Era, this was the time period which we are discussing now, when script was not yet being very well developed, or papers were not being developed to provide it to the people. Booklets were used or were written, but they were as an inscription. That means either on the rock, on the some of the plates as they were being created. May they be artificial or natural in various sources, and they were as a decree, as an order of the royal place. So we have certain examples during Egyptian rule, as Egypt was one of the flourished culture. Egypt contained one of the flourished cultures of the world prior to this common era, and the royal decrees, the royal kings who used to give the orders were distributed among the public places as an inscription. Keep this in mind. And because of that, once they were being given to the public, or once they were being demonstrated to the public, it was forever. Then slowly, as the time changed, the Roman Empire had one king in the name of Julius Caesar. The example of Julius Caesar is given to us, that the newspapers were there, and newspapers means at that time they were known as acta juliana, means acts of everyday. Whatever the action that happened yesterday was written down and provided to the royal courts and adjourned. Keep it in mind, printing press was not invented, but whatever was being, it was created by men or as manuscript. So they were handwritten, but yet they provided a platform to certain peoples to gather information, and because of that, slowly it shifted. Means the information that was only to a selected few to the royal court now started moving among the common peoples. The people adjacent to the courtyards used easily get, and then as a mouth publicity, it started to move or drift down to the common people. In the 7th century, as we move, there is an example of the royal dictates has been distributed among the common people. Means now, whatever the rules, whatever the orders, whatever the expectations of the king, emperor were, they were written down and distributed, at least one pamphlet or leaflet or page to one area. So naturally people could get. And there was also a time when a drummer used to move from till some years back in many of the villages. In Marathi we call it davandi. In many of the villages, a trumpet person goes from one square to another shouting the information he had to provide to the people. And it was in manifold. The information is not only related to the royal court or the kings. Many times, many things that are associated with the common man's life are also been dictated. So slowly, this information dripping down from the royal courts till the common people, or from common people moving up to the royal court, both way moved on, and there were certain channels. These channels in the beginning, as means precursors, we can see that they were inscribed. After that, slowly during Julius Caesar's reign, we find that they were handwritten. After that, again they were distributed to the people. Means the scope of the newspaper was slowly, or scope of the distribution of the news was slowly enlarging, going to more and more people. And then came out a new strategy, and that was when England was gaining importance in the world politics. Whatever was going on in England as a handouts, or today we can, just to understand it, we can say A4 size paper or even smaller than that. Leaflets or handouts written by hands were distributed among the people, and they were definitely they were related to the warlike situations, what exactly England is facing, what England expects from others, and in this way it moved to the people. People responded to it. In fact, that was the time when people used to wait what exactly the information will be, and according to that, means the soldiers were. Uh, it was a platform that people can get a job of soldiers. Keep it in mind, in the beginning, only agriculture was the main occupation. After agriculture came military. In military, people means either military or either agriculture or both. People used to carry it, and because of that, providing information to the bottom line people, it was the work of the royal court. But first, in the beginning, it was mouthpiece, people moving from one place to another, giving the dictates. Then, as in the name of inscriptions, people were given certain written either rocks or plates, may it be of copper or iron. Then slowly the other, as the scenario started to change, acts of everyday life during Julius Caesar, again then as it changed during England, we find that slowly distribution, giving information about the latest war deeds, but keep it in mind it was related to the war. And then came the time when people started moving from one place to another. Now this is the time when Renaissance period started in Europe, that is 7th century onwards. 7th century onwards, 7th to 17th century of Europe gave a drastic change to the world. And with this, we come to know that as England started, not only England, but the Europeans, we can say, Europeans started moving out of Europe to get some more areas. They started moving slowly to one and the other parts of the world, either in the name of finding new sea routes or capturing the other lands. But for this, along with the traveling or travelogues as we call them, they also needed the military, the naval force. Along with the military and the naval force, they also needed the weapons that were used in the wars. And for the latest weapons, whatever the dictates that were given by the courts were carried on to the working class. And in this way, information transfer started. But slowly, as the people started moving from one place to another in search of or in the name of education, in the name of building up a good relationship with other countries, the people who moved were termed as travelers. Now they were the religious people. They also propagated religion. And in the name of religion, these charity persons, as they moved, they added the stories they were giving, providing, were not just information. They added spices. Means the information was transferred to the people, but in a hyperbole manner. Exaggeration was there, and this exaggeration was always in a positive manner. But this provided a curiosity among the people who get the information also to move to those areas. So moving of the people from one area to another area slowly started increasing. This was also the time, that is the Renaissance period of the Europe, was also the time when population of the Europe started to rise. And as they wanted to move from one place to another to capture those lands, we know the history of the getting or the discovery of America tells us that it was a mistaken place. The Europeans wanted a new sea route to reach to India, because the sea route that comes through the Constantinople, today's Istanbul, was captured by the Ottoman Turks. And for that, the Europeans lost their contact with Asian or the Eastern Oriental nations, and now they wanted the new sea routes. So the information was not provided scientifically. It was all in the name of assumption. And now the people from Europe, from various countries of Europe, having the good naval forces or strong naval forces, started moving in search of India. These people slowly moved in a direction where they reach, and they assume it as India. Slowly, or within a year or two, they realize that this is not India, and so search again began. But while doing so, the notifications, the notes that were being made in the name of Columbus, particularly in the name of Columbus, and then Amerigo Vespucci, whose name is now given to the land, we call it America. Now, these were the peoples whose material provided information, but this was something not as a newspaper. This was in the deeds of books or booklets, and these booklets provided a history to the backdrop of searching new lands. So when it was the time to come to Vasco da Gama to India, he made use of all this material. He came in contact with the people who were in search of new sea routes to India, and with the experience, the guidance they had, Vasco da Gama utilized it. He reached directly to the Cape of Good Hope, that is near African south tip of Africa. But from there, he never lost the link with the eastern coastal line of Africa, and slowly he reached again back to Egypt. From Egypt, he directly comes or reached to the south tip of India, and we call it today Kochi. From here, definitely a new sea route was used by the Europeans to reach India. At the same time, as we know all these things, we also comes to know that after Britishers getting strong grip on India, that is 1800 and 1800 onwards, we come to know that there were many kings or princely states in India who accepted the subsidiary alliance treaty. Keep it in mind. This is an example, not from our textbook, but subsidiary alliance is the best example how ambassadors send the news to their royal courts. When subsidiary alliance was expected, when the treaty of the subsidiary alliance was signed, the court or the princely state that is in contact with the Britishers will have to keep one, we call it vakil, as an ambassador in his court, and without giving information to that ambassador, no work with other state, no work with other royal court could ever be carried out by an Indian princely state. Now, this is something, as the ambassador gets the information, he provides everyday information, act of everyday, to his senior personalities, and from there the whole of the India's information as it was gathered was then sent to England. This is what the information give and take was going on before the advent of newspapers. But at the same time, we come to know that the information as an administrative setup was an everyday life. All the officers have to communicate with their junior working class, as well as the junior working class have to provide information to the senior most officers. And while doing so, they always comes in contact with one another, but it is not possible for each and every one to personally contact. So the sources of providing information from bottom to top or from top to bottom, in both the way, give and take of the messages, were carried out by the messengers. Slowly it shifted, and when England's total political supremacy in India started to gain momentum, Kolkata became the first capital of India. With it, Kolkata, a part of Bengal, became the capital of British East India. And to provide information to all the officers in India, because with the Bengal, the provinces of Bengal, then Mumbai, also Chennai, came under the span of the Britishers, that is Karnataka South, and after that moving towards Delhi. So the general who was the supreme commander in India supporting the British East India Company was now raised to Governor General, and this Governor General had 3 governors under him, one from Delhi, one from Mumbai, one from South, that is Chennai, today's Chennai or Madras as we call it. So these 3 came under the span of Kolkata. From there, information was to be transferred from one place to another, and first official newspaper of India was born. We call it Bengal Gazette. Gazette means the order, the dictates, as here the words come, the decrees or the royal dictates as we call it. So the official information of the British East India Company slowly gave a momentum, and in this way it was distributed among the people. But at the same time, many of the deeds of the officers were also published in Bengal Gazette. Now that means this is the time when India had publishing houses or printing presses. Now with the advent of the printing presses in the name of British East India Company, slowly some Indians also had the chance to enter into the print media. And in the name of some of the Indian peoples who came in contact with, one is Darpan, one of the old newspapers name. दर्पण itself means mirror, और कहते हैं कि दर्पण कभी झूठ नहीं बोलता. So whatever was everyday's life was published in the next day's Darpan, and in this way slowly it moved on. But Ram Shastri Jambekar is said to be the father of Indian journalism. It was the beginning stage. Definitely it was very hard. The newspapers were not exactly the same as they are today. But slowly these newspapers started gaining popularity among the Indians, and naturally the British rule, how exploited India, was publishing it. Lokmanya Tilak, Maratha, Kesari, and apart from that many other newspapers slowly come in the markets of India according to the language areas, and they were distributed. Slowly, as we speak about the Bengal Gazette as an official newspaper for the Britishers, Bengal Gazette too published some of the corrupted officers' stories in it, and they were widely spoken in England. So naturally, as we see one example related to the Bengal Gazette, though it is now today a private publication, we can see the same in the name of Maratha, Kesari. Then as we spoke about Darpan, and because all these, at that time India was under the dominance of the British rule, the newspapers started exploiting the stories, publishing the stories against the British officers. These British news inspired hatred in the minds of Indian people, and they started coming together. The best example of mass media used against the Britishers for the developing scenario of patriotism amongst the Indians is none other than Lokmanya Tilak. He used Swadeshi, and Swadeshi even education for India's plan fighting against the Britishers. Shiv Jayanti was one of the propaganda. Ganesh Utsav was one of the festival as being used to gather the people together and inspire them to come to. Once people come together, definitely they will be provided an information how and what they actually must gather. And in this way, a new term or a new idea about patriotism among the people started gaining momentum. Also, we speak about the Dadabhai Naoroji. He was one of the economists, first economist studying economics in London, and from there he used to provide information how India's economy is being dragged by the Britishers. Means actually it was just like a drainage of Indian economy towards England. England's prosperity was gaining momentum just because of India, and with the new rules that were introduced, they were exactly explained by Dadabhai Naoroji. That is also one of the reasons that he was known as the old man of India. And with due respect, he became the first Asian to be nominated to House of Lords during the British rule. Now, as we come to know all these things, there were many positive as well as negative. But while going through this, we comes to know that the newspapers slowly, in the beginning, were at the most used against the Britishers in India. So, in the name of patriotism, in the name of the freedom struggle, or in the name of the movements that gathered momentum, for example, Young India by Mahatma Gandhi, or even the books that were published, Discovery of India, or whatever that was written, inscribed by Vinayak Damodarji Savarkar in the walls of a jail at Andaman, slowly come to light to the common people, and they got inspired. There are many more examples which cannot be described here time and again, but at the same time we have to understand that these newspapers provided an instinct as far as India's beginning is concerned against the Britishers. The leaders motivated the people, and their fire words ignited actually the fire among the Indians in the name of patriotism, fighting for independence movement. In this way, slowly we come in contact with the newspapers. We will see the next part in the next chapter. Thank you.